Good evening. It is Wednesday, November 20th, and I call the Maple Plains City Council meeting to order. Please stand and join us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I am looking for a motion to adopt tonight's agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Cahill,
Second?
second by DeLuca. Any further discussion? All in favor of adopting the agenda as is?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Having no visitors to be heard, we will move on to the consent agenda. I am looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda, which includes November accounts payable, approval of the October 28th City Council workshop minutes, approval of the November 12th City Council workshop minutes.
Mayor, my apologies, but can I pull accounts payable and line item C, the 12th, for question and comment?
Yes. Okay, so with that, I'm just looking for a motion to approve the October 28th City Council workshop minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Councilmember Fay,
Second.
second by Councilmember Cahill. All in favor of approving?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, Councilmember Fay, we'll go back to November accounts payable.
Okay, Bobby, and I apologize, I wanted to bring this up in the previous workshop, but
No worries.
page 3 of the document, Maple Plain Independence Fire,
Correct.
is that a?
There's a typo there.
Typo?
It's supposed to be 14,600 and some, so there is a
Okay.
typo there.
So how does that work? What are we approving? How does that get corrected?
So I would say the payment is consistent every month, so this isn't a shocker. It should be $14,646.70.
Okay, but will then that get changed on this accounts payable and resubmitted?
If council's comfortable, like I said, it's a fixed payment from month to month. If council's comfortable with approving it with the typo correction, that would be sufficient because it's not a changing number. It's just a typo that if comfortable, council can just move forward with that and we can change it and get it paid.
That's fine. Page 6, people service.
Mm-hmm.
Question.
Yes.
Since my understanding is line item 101,
Yep.
which is the general fund, 601 and 602, I believe, are water and sewer
Correct.
respectively.
Yep.
And what you did here, I'm assuming for simplicity, is just take their $11,475, divide it by 3.
Correct.
Okay. Is it possible in the future, and I'll explain my reasoning behind this, but in the future, to break that down in a more accurate methodology such that based on hours used? And the reason I ask that is we have these enterprise funds, and we have monies coming into the enterprise funds, and we have monies going out of the enterprise funds. And if sewer, for example, used a fraction of the $3,825,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to show a higher usage of people hours.
Correct.
And when we do our quarterly reviews of budgets and enterprise funds, it has the potential to not give us a very accurate snapshot. So
Sure.
can we?
No, it's it's kind of a moving target right now. I mean, I have to look at the contract again and see how they broke down their hours and then probably stick to something close to that. I did it differently the first time, and I had a really good reasoning behind that. We didn't charge anything to sewer, it was just water and general fund. I'm doing some of it based off of how we've already allocated funds for 2019 for our employees, is how I'm trying to take care of this, so that it doesn't have that big impact.
Okay, so maybe come 1/1/2020.
Yep. Then you want to be a lot more accurate with.
Because we're going
where
to
time's
have,
going.
in 2020, the council's going to have hard discussions on our enterprise funds.
Yes, that is correct.
Sewer
And we
and
want to have
water,
accurate
and-
information.
And it's vitally important that we have a accurate snapshot
Yep.
of the amount of labor that's going into each one of these funds to determine whether we keep rates the same, whether we increase rates, whether we decrease rates, et cetera, et
Yeah.
cetera. Okay.
Yep.
And then, you've been doing a great job of putting, descriptions in, the line items in the accounts payable. But I see Granger as motor, I see Lano Equipment as tractor, and I see UFC with nothing in it. Can we get back to the habit of being a little bit more specific as to what constitutes a $2,800 Lano Equipment?
Sure, yeah.
I mean, I know what it is because I read People Services.
Yep.
I'm sure it's the Kubota.
It is.
Drive shaft.
Yes, it is.
But let's put that in there because, and then motor, I don't know, is that it's obviously not a internal combustion engine motor, it's some other thing. And then is UFC, for example, shop supplies, a shovel.
I know Granger's what, $26.11.
Yeah, and UFC is
$28.
28. It just
Yeah.
descriptions.
It's probably just, when the amounts are that low, they're just shop equipment
Okay,
related stuff.
that's fine,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yep.
But you would agree that
Yeah, we can throw
a
something in
$2,866 for a tractor,
Mhm.
maybe repair of
That-
Kubota
yep.
would be probably more specific.
I think you're spot on there.
And then, are we on a contract basis with Adams Pest Control? I see Adams
Yeah.
Pest Control coming up often now. What is it, what pests are they trying to keep out?
Yeah, no, I know that we've been doing some work, some continual work with them around our water treatment plant and our public works and fire department buildings.
Okay, being that we're in the season where not a lot of bugs survive the weather?
No, it's more rodent issues.
Oh, okay. So is it an annual contract with them?
Yeah, we've been doing this for a long time.
Oh,
with them.
that's, okay. That's all I had on AP.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Under Verizon, what is the Jetpack hotspot being used for?
It's for the fire department, I believe,
Okay.
that we pay through. Oh, no, I think the jetpack we actually use with the water treatment plant is like another option for if internet goes down, then there's an option there through the jetpack with Verizon,
Perfect.
so.
Is a
Thank you.
jetpack like a hotspot?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
just a Wi-Fi hotspot.
Got it.
Councilmember Luca?
On the Stantec
Yep.
invoice, what's the work or services that were provided for Meadows of Maple Plain in July and August? It's about $1,400 worth of work.
Sure. Do you have anything on that one?
The only thing I can speculate without seeing it, without having information in front of me, would be the ongoing erosion control inspections that we do as part of the NPDS permit.
Yeah.
Is
Would
that-
you be willing to
Peek
give
at
us
that?
a detail next month at this meeting as to what those were? And is that part of the escrowed amount of money that
Yeah.
Meadows does? Do we still have escrows for that?
Yeah, we still have that, and then we also have a letter of credit that we hold on them too, that we can draw on,
Okay.
They still haven't done their part.
and that's why.
So they're
yeah.
not done.
They're not done. They're not even
Okay.
close to being done.
But,
Thank you.
but 101.
Yeah, right now.
Isn't there normally a classification for an escrow account? So this looks to be coming out of our general fund.
Yes, and yeah, it depends. It depends on how you set that up. So,
Bobby, there was one more thing that was done. There was a drainage issue for that development,
Okay.
backyard drainage issue that was requested to be looked into. So we did some investigations back there, so that might also be included in, Cody did a site visit. There was there's an existing condition, there's a catch basin over there. I believe that also would be included in it,
that makes sense.
so.
To answer your question, yes. Normally there is an escrow account separate that you would draw off. Be a
Right.
general ledger account, not an expense account, though.
And are we doing that with these accounts,
I-
these expenses?
Yeah, I thought, and this is what I'm struggling with. Usually the inspections on erosion control, something we don't pay for. Usually that's something the developer pays for.
Right.
And so that's why I gotta look and see
All right.
what that cost is on that.
Please do, because
Yeah.
I know prior accounts that had escrow, it was identified as an escrow account.
Yeah, and it also depends on what kind of project it is too, as well. There's a number of different factors there, but yeah, I do remember, like Alan said, that there was some work with a drainage issue on the back there that we had Stan Tech take a look at. But yeah, I think there's about 2330 worth of, or $1,330 worth of work there on Meadows between the 2 months that I can take a peek at.
Thank you. Any other questions regarding accounts payable? Okay, next we'll move on to the approval of the November 12th City Council workshop minutes.
Okay,
Councilmember
we had extensive discussion last week, on billing. And I was under the impression that prior to moving on to another line item, we were looking, the direction was to get a more detailed itemization
Mhm.
of Stantec's billing, not just the hours, but how they came up with the
Sure,
hours.
Sure.
And I do remember that conversation because you were in agreement with it, and I believe the mayor was in agreement with it, and Mike
That's where it kind of got confusing for me.
Mike changed his mind, but at least three of us said, I think it would be helpful.
Sure.
And
So I have that information.
Oh, you do?
I have it, so I can send that out, no problem. I was just a little confused on, do we want that sent out, do we not? Because I know there's some conversation at that meeting on that topic. So I'm glad you brought it up, John, because I think this is the appropriate time too. I mean, if city council would like that information sent out, I can email that to everyone tonight.
Okay.
I think that would be good, because that was the direction given at the meeting.
And so therefore, in number 6,
Mm-hmm.
City
Yep.
Council discussed the Stantec bills and asked them to be added to the November business meeting, which
Yep.
we did.
Yep.
After asking the city engineer multiple questions. The direction
Yep.
needs to
Staff will
happen to that is the
provide.
direction was given to seek. So that change,
Yep.
and then I'm okay with the minutes on November 12th.
Perfect.
That's all I have.
Anyone else? Okay, so with those changes and the discussion, then looking for a motion to approve the November accounts payable, and there'll be follow-up next month with some information, and then approval of the November 12th City Council workshop minutes.
So moved.
Moved by Cahill,
I'll second.
second by DeLong. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. This month, we have before us our city engineer November report, our city planner November report, West Hennepin Public Safety October report, city administration November report, and our public works October report. Those were all submitted. Does anyone have any questions, comments, or discussion regarding those? With-
I do have a question on the People Service monthly report.
Yes.
Where did it go? Line item number 2 on Maple Plain operations and maintenance in the People Service narrative. Ray's Tree Service gave a bid to remove the wood chips and clean up
Mm-hmm.
in Rainbow and Bryantwood Park.
Correct.
2 things. We approved Ray to take down the trees and
Yep.
grind stumps back in about April.
Correct.
And specific to every one of his quotes was that he did not clean up the stump grindings.
Yep.
That was not part of his bid.
Correct.
So why are we asking Ray to give us a quote to remove them when we have skid loaders and Kubotas and People Service
Sure.
to take them down just like they did the leaves from the street sweeping and
Mhm.
put them in the compost facility.
Sure, sure. Looking at it, it made more sense to me to go with Ray, given, given that typically, most of the time, it's just Brent that is here. Yeah, I agree, we could have Public Works do that. I think there's a trade-off worth the time to do that. I think it would have taken some significant time to do that work, whereas Ray could punch through that. We could have our Public Works staff doing other things. That was a decision I made.
Okay. Brought this to your attention 2 months ago.
I know you did, and you said you gotta take care of it, figure it out, and I did.
All right.
With that, then, I'm looking for a motion to accept the administrative reports as
Oh,
submitted.
sorry, hold on, one,
Oh.
yeah, I wanted to bring up, I had a question on the chlorine that was used. It seems like in the, when they're talking about the different units, the well averages, the gallons that were pumped decreased October over September, which makes sense. Yet we had a large increase in the amount of chlorine used, HMO used, and potassium permanganate. And I was curious as to why that is, if you know, and I know I'd called you one time and said, hey, our water is really chlorinated.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if there was a failure, if there was something, I know that the hydrants were flushed as well, so maybe that had to catch up. If you can answer that for me.
Yeah, no, I know that I talked to Brent on this, cause, on this specific, deal here, and he said that the chemical use didn't go up, but there are more chemicals on site. He bulked up for like the winter or something along those lines is what he shared with me.
So
But
that's inventory, not used?
That's how he explained it to me. Now, I said, okay, so we haven't used any more chemicals this month compared to last month or whatever. And he said, yeah, since I've taken over, if anything, we've used fewer chemicals than we have in the past, is how he explained that to me.
Okay, because this specifically says used.
Used, yeah, and that's why I went over it a few times with him, and that's what answer I received from him on that.
Okay, well, we should probably get clarification on that further as far as, because it's obviously not used then. They must be.
Exactly, we
Well,
would need
next
to change
month,
it then.
all of our consultants will be here, right?
In January or
Oh,
December?
December,
Because
because it's quarterly.
yeah, I can
Yeah, so if,
I can see what we can do there. Yep.
then we could ask directly.
Yeah. Because it says
Someone from
used, I
People
mean, so
Services.
are we to assume that pumped doesn't mean pumped?
Well, exactly. It's like, what are we getting at here then? No, I understand where you're coming from, John.
Okay,
I understand it.
thank you.
Yep.
I know I said I had no more questions on it, but as long as we're on that, I apologize. If you can look down to, I'm assuming that page, the contract true-ups. Can you explain to me again? We've got budget amounts for chemicals and maintenance.
Yep.
And is the $9,688 chemical budget,
Yep.
is that above a fixed amount that they're currently working off of?
No, that is so that $9,088 or whatever that number is that's laid out. That is the amount that we give them up front because that is how much it should generally
estimating.
cost
Correct.
to buy our chemicals for the year.
And if I remember correctly, if we go over, then we true up with them.
Correct.
In somewhere
Yep.
quarterly or yearly or
It'd be
whatever.
just at the end of the year.
Then,
yep.
if that's the case.
Or if they go under, they pay us.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay, so you have a chemical budget of $9,688, yet
Mhm.
it's not showing we've spent any money on chemicals,
Sure.
even though we just talked about that chlorine usage has gone up and they might be inventorying it. Why are we not showing that we've spent any money on chemicals?
Yeah, I know that Brent mentioned as well that he had called Greg, his boss, to talk about that some more. So
Something we
hopefully
can,
look forward to
in
hopefully-
December?
I'm hoping so.
It
Okay.
could just be the billing time too.
I don't know. Well, we'll hopefully get an answer.
We need an answer, but we need to get one.
I agree. I'd like one too.
No surprises.
Well,
It's- yeah.
this document that People Service puts together is fantastic. It truly is.
Yeah.
And so therefore, if it's gonna remain fantastic, I need to know how to read it.
Yeah, and actually, I wanted to bring that up too. I think it's fantastic what they put together, and especially since the reports that they give out with the preventative maintenance that they're performing is awesome. And I want to make sure that the plow truck is on there.
In terms of our plow truck?
Yeah, because if it's just sitting over there, we want to make sure that, I'm sure that they have it because they came in and did the full analysis, but it came to my attention when I was looking through those PMs that we want to make sure that thing's getting started regularly.
The MAC.
Moved, the MAC,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's something actually I've offlined with Brent too, saying, I want you to start this up every once in a while and drive it instead
Yeah.
of just having that sit all winter, because that's not good.
Do some donuts in the parking lot or
'Cause
whatever.
you gotta burn some fuel a little bit, you know,
Sure,
get some black smoke.
absolutely.
All right, is that it for the questions? All right, with that then, looking for a motion to accept the administrative reports as submitted.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Councilmember Fay,
I'll second.
second by Councilmember DeLong. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Next, we'll move on to new business, and our first item of business is Resolution 19-1120-01, certification of delinquent utility bills, and I'll turn that over to our administrator.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor and City Council. This is unfortunately a yearly resolution that I bring to City Council in the month of November. And this has to do with utility bills that have not been paid to the city. What we do, it's a process where we then take those totals that haven't been paid through the end of second quarter. So this is through July. So for instance, if you were late on your third quarter bill this year, you're not getting assessed. You've got to be pretty grossly delinquent through the end of July. And we take those amounts, and then there is we actually certify those with the county, with Hennepin County, so it goes on their property taxes. Before you is a list that you see within the resolution that lists the address and then the amount that's overdue to this point. What we're asking from City Council tonight is to move forward in approving this resolution, which would then assess these amounts onto these properties, onto their taxes for 2020. Now, I will say that this document is typically submitted at the end of November. And I know that we've moved this meeting up a little bit, so I am asking for some leniency from council that we do give through closer to the end of the month for people to come in and pay some of these. I know that even a few of these on the list have already been paid. Today, there's been a few payments made. And our office staff does a wonderful job of calling these folks and saying, hey, you know, it's beneficial for you guys to come in and make this payment, because there's, you know, assessment fees on top of it and penalties that are it's not a good financial deal for these people. So I would ask that we move forward with approving the resolution, but again, provide some leeway that this resolution will not be signed and executed until the end of November and then submitted to the county.
Can we say specifically November 29th?
Yeah,
That's the last business day of the month,
that works perfectly.
just so we're all clear.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.